Hello. Today we're going to look at 5 Catherine Marshall books that are still worth reading. Catherine Marshall, she was the wife of the Peter Marshall, who was the Senate chaplain during World War II, and he was known for the prayers that he would pray over the nation at that time during the time he would give the prayers. And she had, after the tragic passing of Peter, she had a ministry of her own and a great spiritual journey of her own, which she explored through her books. And she is known nowadays also for her 2 novels, Christy and Julie, who were based on her real life ancestors. There was a series that was done on Christy a few years ago with Kelly Martin and Tyne Daly, um, two and um, decent actresses who held up their parts and probably should have been a lot more popular than it was. But um, there are 5 other books, nonfiction books, which I want to recommend from our own life and spiritual journey, who are still well, and these books are still well worth reading. Please click like and subscribe. I'll have bunches of other book recommendations, although book recommendations are a part of my channel, but not the whole thing. So, but if you want to know some of the things I'll be recommending in the days ahead, like and subscribe to be notified. So, first book, her first, which is her first book, the book on her husband, Peter Marshall, and we have a picture there which shows him walking there in front of the Capitol again from his time as a pastor. He was born in Scotland, came over to the United States, and he served as a pastor in the Presbyterian Church, and also right there in Washington, in fact, what the same Presbyterian Church where Abraham Lincoln was known to take up a pew from time to time. So, and the word is, she puts it in there. I haven't had any external confirmation of this. Is that Lincoln was prepared to join into membership about the time he was assassinated. Again, there I haven't seen any Lincoln historians corroborating that, but it was well known, and there were people in that church who aged at the church, elderly, who remembered Lincoln from their childhood. So, but that's it. A Man Called Peter, and just to let you know, you can find this used books as well, and if you're into used books, public libraries and so on, different cover way back then, but there is this the book, original book, Man Called Peter, and this one was also made into a movie, same title, A Man Called Peter, and it shows a number of scenes in there throughout, and a decent actor whose name unfortunately goes over my head at this moment, but familiar. He played. He was also prominent in the longer movie, The Longest Day. So playing as the British officer who was responsible to hold the bridge until relieved, and the actor was also a definite war veteran. So one of the interesting things about the movie A Man Called Peter, which again TCM shows it from time to time, and you might be able to find it on some other sites like Tubi or Freevee or something like that. There's an actual real documented healing that took place during one of the preaching scenes of that movie, and one of the extras who came there who had some infirmities walked away healed, and that's something that has been corroborated. So, first book, there, Man Called Peter. Second book, one right after the first book, definitely. Mr. Jones, Meet the Master, The Sermons and Prayers of Peter Marshall. And this is a book I'd recommend not only just for anyone who's interested in this, but also for pastors. And again, the first one also for pastors too. Some example of being a pastor. And Peter Marshall had a way of putting things in a way that ordinary people could understand very well in that time. And a lot of the people he was speaking to certainly were people in government around Washington, but he had a way of putting things in a plain and clear manner. So I'd encourage you, if you can see this one, find this one, pick it up anywhere. Mr. Jones, Meet the Master. Third book, To Live Again. This is the book which Catherine Marshall wrote after the passing of her husband Peter Marshall, and about how dealing with her own grief and going on from that. And it was as it says, a bestseller at the time, and continued to be used by a number of women, including divorced women, through the 60s and 70s, 1960s, 1970s, to try to deal with grief and loss. And I believe that there are pastors that still keep copies of this book to hand to young widows, especially, to speak to women who have lost their husbands in death. So that's encouraged also. So, fourth book, Catherine Marshall, Beyond Ourselves. And it's been a number of years since I've read this. I believe that this is the one where she deals with going through the 12 steps for herself. Don't quote me on that, because it could easily have been To Live Again, or the other one, which I'll have yet to recommend. But she does go through the 12 steps from Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't believe she's dealing with alcoholism at the time, but as a way of reorienting and deepening her own spiritual life, because she had been the wife of a pastor, and they had been spiritually, I believe she was to some extent spiritually dependent upon him. But when he passed away, she had to learn to live her life out with God for Jesus by herself. So, and one of the interesting bonus things, this still is in print. To Live Again and Beyond Ourselves, the two best-selling works in one volume. So the two books I've already recommended to you, you can find them separately, and you can also find them together. I've seen this on Amazon listed as new. So this one might be something that could be picked up for a decent price. And I did give my mother a copy of this. Two best. I don't know if she ever read it, but after the death of my father, and during that time, to help her to try to reorient her spiritual life. So that's the fourth book. Fifth and final book, Something More: The Exciting Quest for a Deeper Faith. Going on further, and this one, as I remember, was deeply influenced by Hannah Whitall Smith's book, Christian's Secret of a Happy Life. And it'd be a good idea, if you read through this book, then to pick up a Hannah Whitall Smith's book, The Christian Secret of a Happy Life. I do have a video which I recommended several Hannah Whitall Smith books, so I'd recommend that you would look through that video also. And if you're feeling stifled, if you're feeling plateaued in your Christian life, if you're feeling bored, I'd recommend this one to you, to go on to have a deeper faith. Because no matter where you've been, no matter how many years you've been, if you're bored right now in Jesus, there's something more for you right there. And if you do look at a list of Catherine Marshall books, you'll find 3 others. There's also one which is called The Helper, about the Holy Spirit. I haven't read it for many years. I don't remember it particularly well, but pick it up if you want. It's about the influence of the Holy Spirit in life, and Light in My Darkest Night. I haven't read this one. It seems to be listed as being about overcoming spiritual despair. And this one might be definitely for someone who's in a spiritual crisis. Adventures in Prayer is another one that I don't remember reading. I might have. But if you're looking on growing in your own prayer life, that one might be a good one to pick up too. So there are 5 that I definitely recommend, 2 in one version and 2 separately, and also 3 others which I know that she wrote, which I know that I read at least one of them, but I don't know them well enough to say, yes, I've read this, and I recommend them heartily. But I'd encourage you to check out Amazon if you can. Check out used bookstores. Public libraries had some of these back in the day. They might still. you might still find them on sites like archive.org or someplace like that. So these are the 5 plus the 3 I haven't read. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I hope this helps.